It is Monday, October 23rd. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by Jet Home Loans. And now, a guy who doesn't really see the need for French fries and coleslaw on the sandwich, but does hold the record for eating them at 6, J.P. Shadrick.
And welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour on this Monday, Week 8, about to begin. The Jaguars head to Pittsburgh and Primanti Brothers this Sunday. Plenty to get to from the Hyundai Studios. J.P. Shadrick with you. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. Busy show ahead, of course, for the next 2 hours. We'll recap the Jaguars' Thursday night football win over the Saints, 31-24, and now 4 straight wins in 4 different stadiums in 3 different cities in a span of 7 time zones in 19 days for the Jaguars to get to a 5-2 record. A well-deserved mini bye week, and now the Steelers next. We'll keep it real, of course, and Fanatics fan questions in the second hour. Pete Prisco from CBSSports.com and Tony Boselli of football fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame
JP, look,
is with us. What's up, Pete?
Hey, JP, look, he has his bus behind him as we do this.
They can't see it, Pete. The angle that they have, they can't see it.
We can fix that, I believe.
Look, I have my bobblehead.
Here,
Wow.
there's the bus.
Well, here's my bobblehead. Does it look like me? Probably not, because it has hair, so it doesn't look like me.
It looks much better than you do.
There's some big arms on that
now.
bobblehead, Pete. Big arms on that thing.
Well, those arms are pretty good now. But Boselli, that's not the real bust is in Canton, so that can't be the real bust. So what is it? You had one made?
No. They get when they give you when they put your bust in the Hall of Fame, they give you a replica as well. And so it's the exact same bust that's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Outside of this one is not bronze. It's just the clay, hardened clay. But it's the exact same. It looks outside of it, the one in Canton being bronze, this one being some kind of hard clay or however they finish it. It's the exact same thing.
I forgot to ask you. I don't think I ever really asked you this, even though we took pictures with it when we were up there. Do you think it looks like you?
Yeah, I do, especially a younger me. So they did it because they asked what like era of your career, and so I found a picture like year 3 or 4. I can't remember what it was. So it's like 26-year-old Tony Boselli.
So it's a glamour shot of sorts. Then.
Well, I sure the hell wasn't going to do 51-year-old Tony Boselli.
That thing had like limbs hanging over here and stuff over here.
It would have fake parts.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic that it's on his desk behind him, Pete. That's
amazing.
That's really what
Listen,
it is.
I didn't put it there, to be clear. My wife did. I did not decorate my wife.
You know what? We're kidding you, but you should be proud of that.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Yeah, come on.
Oh, I'm not taking it as a slight. I'm just saying whether someone likes it or dislikes it, I had nothing to do with it.
Because if I had one, that damn thing would be right behind.
It would be in front of the camera, in front of Pete. He would just show it all show.
Maybe.
That's all he would do. All right, so let's get to this Jaguars team, and let's start with Thursday night and the quarterback play. Trevor Lawrence, game time decision officially. He got the early workout in and the green light when he was not among the inactives, and he comes out there with the brace on his left knee, and he ends up as the leading rusher in the game somehow, and then throws a touchdown pass, a little short one over the middle. Christian Kirk runs the rest of the way for the go-ahead touchdown with just over 3 minutes to play. But just the fact that Lawrence was even playing on a short week to begin with, and then the way he played, yes, the offense had a lull, Pete, middle of the game, I'd say, but they found ways, and they got it done, and Trevor's battle through that knee injury was a big reason.
Well, I think it says a lot about him as a player. We knew that. We said that last week before the show, before the game. We said we think he played because he's a competitor, and that's what he is. I mean, he's a tough guy. But not only that, to be able to run the way he did. I mean, you can see these plays here as we watch them on YouTube. This is incredible to me that he was able to do that. It wasn't a great offensive performance by any stretch of the imagination, but to go there against that defense in that environment and play, period, and then play the way he did is a testament to him. And Tony, you've been in many a locker room. I guarantee you the players looked around that locker room and his respect level went up even higher.
Yeah, my guess is, Pete, nobody was surprised he played in the locker room because they know what type of guy he is. I mean, I think he has shown that he is, he's the leader of the franchise from a player perspective. And to me, for what he did is just going to entrench that even more in the locker room. Because to your point, I'll just speak from an offensive line perspective. When you know you have a tough guy back there and a guy that's going to go to battle when he's not 100%, because none of us are up front 100% ever, it just says something. And, when I played, I mean, it was no secret that Mark was one of the tougher guys and played through stuff and rarely complained or anything else about getting hit. And that means something to the guys up front. And I thought Trevor played great. It was really interesting to me pregame talking to some of the coaches. They did not know whether he was going to play or not when he came out and warmed up. It was up to him, which was crystal clear. The other thing is they figured if he would play that he would be pretty immobile. And they thought that was a disadvantage because the Saints give up a lot of quarterback rushing yards because they play so much man coverage. And so backs to the quarterback, and if you have an athletic quarterback, they can take advantage of it. And they said, we probably won't be able to take advantage of that today. And then there goes Trevor Lawrence doing what Trevor Lawrence does. And so I thought it was a great performance. I give a lot of credit to that offensive line. You play a football game against the Saints. Now, they're not great pass rushers, but it's one of the best defenses in the NFL, overall defenses. And you give up 1 pressure, 0 hits, 0 sacks in a football game in the NFL. Pretty dang good, Pete.
And watching the tape, I thought the tackles both played really well. They handled their guys on the edge, and they're good football players. Granderson's a good player. Very good. And Cam Jordan, probably not quite the player he used to be.
But still good.
But I thought Harrison did some good things against him as well. And so, yeah, I thought the offensive line as a group was better. And they had to be. And sometimes, Tony, it takes something like that to kind of maybe, I got to be even better today to protect that guy. And I think that showed up in a big way. I like what I saw from the offensive line. What happens now? Walker Little goes in and plays left guard, right? If he comes back this week. So they should be even better on that offensive line going forward. It was not a great offensive performance, though. I mean, it was good for what he was and what he is in terms of being banged up. But it just seems at times they get a little disjointed, and I don't know why. It still has – I mean, they're scoring points and they're moving the football at times, but they – like you mentioned, JP, they have those lulls. And personally, and this is going to be a Pete rant, okay?
Can't wait.
I think it's too horizontal, the offense, for my liking. And I'm going to go back to the winning play. They had man-to-man coverage, or they had zone on the other side. I think if they kind of doubled Calvin Ridley. And so he was in man-to-man, but the middle of the field was wide open. I think they need to operate more in there than they have been and even get them down the field some. Now, some of that the last couple of weeks because of the injury, or last week the injury, you want to get the ball out quick and not have him standing there. But if he was capable of running the way he ran, he's capable of going through his progressions and getting the ball down the field. Now, there's some opportunities. And Calvin Ridley, everybody asked me, they doubled Calvin Ridley a ton in that game. That's why he didn't, that's why the shots weren't going to him. But I think that it's too much this way sometimes instead of that way for me.
Well, I'll say this, Pete. I'm not going to disagree with you. I think you make a fair point. But I'll say this. I thought the first maybe 3 drives, because throwing the unfortunate turnover by Christian, it was the best the offense has looked. I mean, there you go, dink, 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 handoff, dink, 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 handoff, crosser, big play, dink, dink, touchdown. I'm like, literally after the first 3 drives, I'm like, they might score. The Saints have no answer. And then we went into the lull. Had a turnover. everyone talks about how little time we were on the field. Well, we had the turnover after one play, Saints get it back. We had the punt muff, Saints get it back. And so right there is going to eat a lot of weight. You lose that. What people don't realize, the big thing around turnovers is not just that the other team gets the ball. You lose a possession. You lose an offensive possession to go put points on the board. And you only have, in today's NFL, 11 to 13 possessions a game. And so you lose 2, you're almost at, you're just under 20% of your possessions out the door. And it was, so that, I think,
took them out of their rhythm a little bit.
I think it took them out of the rhythm because I thought we had it going early, and then we had the lull.
Yeah, and you know what, Tony? That play where Kirk fumbled, those are the kind of things they need to see more of.
Yeah.
In my mind. I think they need to do more of that and get him in the middle of the field, get Ingram in the middle of the field. It almost, at times, they get too cute. And that's kind of an epidemic in the NFL these days. Just play football. You don't necessarily have to run the reverses and the little swings and the this and get the linemen out and go out there. I get it. You want to make them defend the entire field width-wise. I get that. It helps open up everything else. But you don't have to do it all the time. And so that's my personal take is I think they need to get more into the middle of the field and get more vertical down the field.
Is part of that, though, just the personnel that has not been out there some? Zay Jones has missed 4 games already and, a half of another one. And then the offensive line's been shuffling around a bit.
They haven't trusted the offensive line all year in the middle, particularly. That's been a concern. So, yeah, I think they've called plays to their fear. But as you get into a game and it's not a fear, then you have to get away from that. And I don't think at times they sometimes get away from it. But when they had to score, when they had to go get that touchdown, what did they do? They got them locked up in man coverage and an option route. Boom, boom, gone. I just think they need to get into that area more than that way. And I get it. It opens up the middle when you are threatening horizontally, but I just think this kind of stuff needs to happen more, and I think it's available to them.
I want to know where the wheels on Christian Kirk came from because he ran away from everybody on the Saints on this little option route, Pete.
Yeah, and ETN made a nice little block there. Watch right there. That's all he had to do was get in front of him. He couldn't hit him because it would have been a blindsider, and he kind of just got in front of him.
It took out 3 guys with 1 shot there.
Kirk looked fast on this play.
That's what I mean. And get him in the middle of the field in these kind of situations and get him on those over routes where he comes across and gets over, like the one he fumbled. I mean, I just think Ingram in the middle of the field. The Saints had come into the game having problems defending the tight end, and they didn't get it. I thought they'd get him into the middle of the field, and they did.
Well, they did early, Pete, if you go back.
Yeah, and they went away from it.
And then Trevor actually missed a throw early where Ingram had separation on man, and if he hits him, he could have ran away from the defender.
And how many throwback passes are they going to use? I mean, it's like one a week. I mean, seriously, some teams go games without using anything like that.
We went years. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they got to cut. See, that's the cute of the offense, and I don't necessarily think it has to be cute, particularly if you get Walker Little back into the middle of that line. If you get Little back, Cam Robinson's playing good football, Tony. We were wondering how he would play. I think he's playing good football over there. I think the rookie right tackle is getting much better. You can isolate him now in some situations where you maybe are concerned about him. Sheriff looked a little bit better. Even the center, he looked better the other night. So the concern of calling plays because of those guys has to wane now as you head out and you start getting the offense really into a rhythm. Because I don't think we've seen the best of this offense.
Right.
Not even
no, I don't either, Pete. And let me give, before we, JP, I know we're at time, let me give a shout out to Brandon Sheriff. Because that's a guy, short week, did not practice, beat up ankle, and there was no question he was playing. Like, he willed himself on the field. And, you can be critical. Maybe he didn't play the best in the first few games. Maybe he had some rough moments, whatever. That guy's important from a mentality standpoint and a leadership standpoint. And he is a good football player. He might not be at his best that he has been in his career when he was, Pro Bowler, perennial Pro Bowler for the Commanders. But I can't stress what that means to a team when a guy who's a leader, captain, who just sucks it up and just says, "I'm playing."
And plus, he has a rookie next to him, which is important to have him in there. As somebody in the building told me, him last year, he was hurt all last year, but he played. But the way he stood in there and helped, he made Juwan Taylor that much better. And Juwan Taylor had a career year. And by the way, Harrison, going into this weekend, have been playing better than Juwan Taylor.
Yeah.
Juwan Taylor not playing very well.
But I don't care about Juwan Taylor, wrong team. I'll just say this, hats off. As a guy who knows what it takes to get ready to play a game and know what it means to play hurt, hats off to Brandon Sheriff, because that's big time.
All right, guys, let's come back in a moment. We'll get to the defensive performance. They were out there for 87 snaps in the game. We'll go through that performance. For the defensive side, plenty ahead. Of course, finishing the recap of Thursday Night Football, looking ahead to the Steelers game this week. Then in the second hour, we'll keep it real and Fanatics fan questions. Jags fans want customized Jaguars furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zipchair furniture for fans. We're off and running. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
I knew who we were made of, the kind of grit that we have on this team, the kind of way that we fight regardless of what happens, like I'm saying. I wasn't really worried. I'm like, we're going to win this in the end. Like, you can watch me out there driving the film, like, it's going to come down to them trying to get in the end zone. I got us every time. It's about us. We fight for each other, fight for the brothers. Shout out Trevor coming out here and playing. It was motivation, everybody playing for each other. So we fight all the way through the game, everything on the line. I'm going to fight for my boy.
That's Foye Oluokun, Jaguars linebacker, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. J.P. Shadrick from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center. Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli alongside. That's what we do on this show, too. Fight for our brothers. That's what we do on Jaguars Happy Hour. But the defense certainly
he had a monster game.
He was huge. 14 tackles, 9 solos, and he's now second in the league in total tackles. His first career touchdown, pick six that put the Jaguars up 15 after the extra point. 2 passes defense for Foye. And, I mean, you know, you start making plays like that in primetime games in big moments, Pete, that's when the Pro Bowl stuff starts coming. He hasn't been to one.
No, and you're right. Those big moments and big games are what the rest of the players in the league will look around and go, hey, I'll put him in there. He had a big game on TV. I remember that. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be the last game that people see of them either. I think there's going to might get some flex games coming forward, particularly maybe that Niners game gets flex.
Because if both teams win this week, then all of a sudden, hey, they're two of the top teams.
They got to do it 12 days out,
which it would be after. It would be Monday. It would be Monday
right.
of this next
next
week.
Because it would be after they have the bye week and then the 49ers.
That's right. So now it's Jets-Raiders is the Sunday night game that week 10.
Right, 2 big market teams. I mean, Vegas is it's still a big market compared to this one.
But it's a traditional team, the Raiders. So,
but if the Raiders, they play on the road again this week against the Lions, if they start cratering, then the Jets lost to the Giants or something, then there's a chance something like that happens. But I as far as the defense, Oluokun played great. Who's playing 10 times better than he has? Devin Lloyd.
I think I knew you were going with that. Yeah,
Devin
he had
Lloyd.
11 tackles in the game and a pass defense. And remember
there was a 3-play sequence on the goal line where he made he was in on all 3 tackles and was the primary tackler. I don't know if they credited him with all 3, JP, on the play sheet, but watching the tape, he was in on all 3. Remember when they swung it wide?
What time of game was this?
Late or third quarter, maybe, when Kamara went. He tackled him on the goal line over there. It was 2 runs in the middle. Taysom Hill had a run, maybe. I think it was. I think Taysom Hill scored on that one run right before it. Right, those 3 plays before the Taysom Hill run.
Taysom Hill. I gotta find this. I gotta go back. It's been a while since Thursday night.
I think it was 4th down. JP. We brought Taysom Hill ran in for the touchdown. It was. I think it was the touchdown that right before the big play to Kirk. I think that touchdown.
Really? Okay. Hang on. Let's go find this again. This is great radio. Going through the play-by-play.
But Devin Lloyd I don't know if they credited him with the tackles. But in a 3-play sequence right there, he made a big play in the run game on first down, made a big play in the run game on second down, and then he tackled Kamara on the goal line on a pass play wide.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I got it. It's the opening play of the fourth quarter is what happened. So they were down at the first and goal at the 4. Carr incomplete.
They ran the ball on first down, right?
Unnecessary roughness, no play. And then first and goal from the 2. They gave Gotsis a tackle. And then second and goal from the 2. They gave Oluokun and Wingard a split tackle.
No, Lloyd was in on both of those.
Right. And then on third and goal, Devin Lloyd, they gave him a solo.
Yeah, he had a solo, but he made plays on the first 2.
Yeah.
And then they scored on the next one on the Taysom Hill run, right? That's what they scored.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah,
that's right.
And he got caught inside on. He kind of took. I saw where he was filling, and they kind of ran outside of him. But he's much better, much more active, much more athletic, better in coverage, understands where to go. That was one of his best games, and he looked like he felt confident. And I think that's part of the reason why Oluokun's even playing better.
He's not having
he doesn't have to line him up.
Yeah, not having to worry about where he's at. Yeah, and even last week, Pete, I mean, he had his hands on 2 different footballs last week. If it wasn't for the little splint in his thumb, he might have 2 interceptions.
Well, he had his hand on one in that game too. Remember? Yeah. I just think he's playing so much better. He's getting so much depth on his drops. He's understanding where the crossers are coming from. Now, there was one, he got beat by Olave, but he was in coverage on him. He was right there to make the play. He just got beat. I think he's improved immensely in the last 3 weeks. And I think that's a big part of why their defense looks better.
Yeah, and they're playing great overall defense, certainly really good against the run with him stepping in there too. And then you got Josh Allen, who continues to flash and play well. He had three quarterback
he's working
hits
against the backup, but he has played really well.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to – Josh Allen's playing out of his mind right now.
He's
on the money train.
Got to keep it up. That's the one thing in his career that you can say, hey, he's had spurts here or there. He's been really good for 2 or 3 weeks, and then he disappears for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, but he's never been this good.
That's right.
I don't think at any point in his career he's been this good. He's playing out of his mind. I think he's been outstanding. And yeah, he played against a backup tackle and a guard converted over there, but he still did a nice job and won consistently. What do you have, 11 pressures in that game?
Yeah, he was all over the backfield. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he really impacted the game. He sped up Derek Carr. He's playing great. I mean, in watching the tape, there were a couple other notes I wrote down about that defense. One being Angelo Blackson made some plays.
He
did.
It's a heck of a find, right? He's been all around the football, like fumble recoveries. You can't really predict that sometimes, but he's just there, and he's a
made
big
a couple
body.
Plays in the run game,
Yeah.
and he got the penalty for throwing down the runner, but
It's weak.
he's made some plays. I thought he did some good things on that defense the other day. You agree, Tony? Angelo Blackson made a couple plays the other day.
I thought he's been good all year.
Yeah.
Because remember the big question we had coming in with Devon Hamilton being out, where's the depth going to be on that interior defensive line? This is what the interior defensive line, as far as from stopping the run, is one of the strengths of the whole team.
Yeah.
And guys like Blackson are a big reason for that. And so, I mean, give them a ton of credit. And and I'm sorry I had to jump out real quick. Something came up, but as a defense and as you think about the defense overall, Mike Caldwell and his staff have done a great job of keeping them in games, getting turnovers, getting big stops when they have to. I mean, I don't even blame them for that end of third quarter, kind of going into the fourth quarter. They've been on the field for like 1,000 minutes.
Yeah.
And on a short week, they were gassed. You could see it. And I mean, I thought they gutted it out, and specific to Blackson, super impressed with all those guys, the starting group up front, the backups. The way they've shut down the run this year has been impressive.
It's good to have depth like that. It's good to have a big body that can go in there, and he plays big. He plays strong. And we were talking before when you jumped out, Tony. I was talking about how much better Devin Lloyd's looked the last couple of weeks. That's a different dude out there.
I talked to him after the game. I'm like, dude, you were killing it right now.
It's unreal.
Dude, he is like, I thought he was better than last year to start the season, but not great. Then he gets hurt. The last 2 weeks, him and Luakon
all over the field. They look, they look like when they play now, like those two Niners linebackers.
They run around and hit plays.
I mean, they're not Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw yet, but they run around and make plays like that. They're not. If those two continue, they're going to be so able to cover so much ground. And his pass coverage, I was telling J.P., when you watch the tape, he knows the look where guys are coming now and where to go. It's an amazing improvement in the last 2 weeks from him. He gets it now. You can tell. And you talked to him after the game. I bet he thinks he's really good now, too.
Well, he should. I mean, Devin Lloyd's not a burner. Like, if you talk, like the guys you talked about it.
Yeah, they can fly. Yeah.
Warner and Greenwald, like especially Warner, is just like just fly. And Devin's not slow, but he's not a burner. But
he's not like those guys.
But what he is, Pete, that makes him faster than he even maybe clocks at. His length, he is so long that he's there even when you don't think he's there because of that length. And he gets his hands on balls across the middle of the field that they think are going to be over his head, that he gets hands on and does something with it. I mean, he is – I think
it's good. You know what's happening now? with Josh Allen being a playmaker at the first level, you got the linebackers playmakers at the second level. You have Tyson Campbell when he's on the field, and Darius Williams is really playing well, by the way.
He's leading the league in
At the
passes
quarterback
defense,
position.
by the way.
And then you have Cisco at the safety position, and you have really high-level players at those every level across the board at every key spot. Whereas going into the season, we didn't know that.
We didn't know. It was a question mark. And how about Josh Allen? And if you guys talked about this, I apologize. 11 pressures. 11.
You know what? We motivated that man.
He was like, and Pete, if Derek Carr held on the ball for like a half second, he had 5-6 sacks.
He was working against a backup.
That's fine. But that's what you're supposed to do when you go.
And he dominated. I told JP it's the best he's ever. This little stretch of games is the best he's ever played, and I don't even think it's close. And JP, remember I asked you last week, did they make the crack about game wrecker on the game?
Yeah.
I went back and listened to it. He got that sack against Indy.
Yeah.
And they said he is a game wrecker. So it was like a little shot, but he's playing at a high level. But we also have to talk about the other side.
Well, why don't we come back and do that? Because I think that's a longer conversation. And when you talk about the other side, I assume you're talking about Trayvon Walker.
Correct.
And when I looked at the stat line from Thursday night, it was 1 assist.
We will
get into that. He was given a couple of pressures. I went back and watched the tape again today, and I looked at it. I don't know where they came from. One late, maybe they credited him with when he was flushed out, but.
We've got plenty to get to. We'll get to that coming up. We'll dig a little deeper into the cornerback play. That was a question going into the game Thursday night. Monteric Brown, how did he perform in his first career start? A little more offensive talk as well ahead. Then in the second hour, we'll keep it real and answer Fanatics fan questions. Sign up your furry friend for the Jaguars official four-legged fan club for pets, presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Visit jaguars.com/promotions/four-legged fan club and sign up today. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Jet Home Loans.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
The 2023 season is awesome. Introducing the Four-Legged Fan Club, the Jaguars official fan club for pets. Presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your furry friend can access exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Fan club members will be automatically entered to win the Pet of the Game sweepstakes with 2 Jags tickets and sideline passes for pet owners and a chance for your pet to be featured on the video boards as Pet of the Game. Visit jaguars.com/promotions/four-legged fan club to sign up. Tackle your marketing needs with Kessler Creative. Providing direct mail services for more than a decade, Kessler has a wide range of services from small mailers to large banners and signs. Draft Kessler as your first pick to receive the best targeted mail list. Elevate your business and be on the winning team with Kessler Creative. Kessler Creative, results-driven marketing and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. If you're in the market for a full-size 8-passenger SUV, look no further than the Defender 130. And with the Defender 90, the 110, and this 130, there's luxury in the right size for everyone. Right, Sammy?
Plus, when you buy or lease from Land Rover Jacksonville, you'll become a member of the Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, our cafe, and much more, all at no charge.
Brooks Rehabilitation is hiring nurses who want to be empowered as advocates, educators, care coordinators, and leaders in exceptional patient care. They have open RN, LPN, HHA, and CNA positions across their inpatient, skilled nursing, and home health care settings. Join their nationally recognized team, where you'll serve as a central team member doing what you do best, providing exceptional patient care. Apply at careers.brooksrehab.org.
It's one of the best performances. I had talked to the team, and we had some guys that were beat up. Trevor was banged up going into the game. Brandon Scherf was beat up going into this game, amongst other guys. And the offensive line really put it upon themselves to keep Trevor clean in the pocket. Other than the runs that he had, he wasn't touched back there. And I give credit to Press Taylor. Play calls, balls were coming out of his hand extremely quick. Receivers were doing their job, so it was a really good performance there, not only by the offensive line, but I think also the guys around Trevor helping him out, in that situation.
That's the head coach, Doug Peterson, on a conference call, a Zoom call on Friday, the day after the Jaguars win in New Orleans at the Superdome. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center in Jacksonville. Pete Prisco down in South Florida. Tony Boselli has a bust of himself in his house, apparently. And we are recapping the win over the Saints, looking ahead to the Steelers coming up a little later. Second hour, your Fanatics fan questions and much more. Yes, Pete, hello.
I asked this question. Did anybody ask him about the idiotic decision to go for it?
Pete, I'm going to disagree with you again from this game.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
It was fourth, and first of all, I would have challenged the spot because I think they got a crappy spot. That's fine. But if you look at it where they mark it, it is literally fourth and less than an inch. And again,
at the 47-yard line.
Yep. Let's see where his knee goes down. This is I didn't like this. Right there.
They probably should have challenged it. It would have been hard to overturn it, but they should have challenged it.
Okay, so now this is the fourth down play we just looked at on YouTube, on video. I actually would have been fine going for it, but here's what I don't like. I had no problem going for it because you had a tired defense that had been on the field. You need to put some first downs together. My problem is the shotgun. It's fourth and an inch, 2 inches. Get underneath. You have a 6'5" quarterback who's is your leading rusher for the day, so his knee feels good enough.
Yeah. Push him.
And just go get the 2 inches you need quarterback sneak. Now, if you don't feel comfortable quarterback sneaking it, then I would punt it.
Or bring your backup quarterback in and let him quarterback sneak it.
Whatever. Go put, we have to come up with a solution. Go put Evan Ingram under center, have him practice, and obviously not before the first time in the game, but practice someone else doing it if you're worried. Because you can't be out of the gun on fourth and inches. I don't understand that.
I agree with you 100%. I didn't like the gun.
No.
I didn't like the call. The Saints had done nothing. They had done nothing.
No, Pete, at that point in the game, that's not true. They had come back. They were down one possession. This is when
right. Okay, but they had the one possession in the third quarter where the start of the fourth quarter. Isn't that what it was, JP? We just went through it when Taysom Hill scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
The reason
How many yards did they have at that point?
But Pete, the reason I said I would go for it again, quarterback sneak, is because I remember sitting there during the game and watching, saying our defense is dead. We are gassed. We've been on the field half the time they have. If you looked at the time of possession at that point, and we needed to just get some first downs and keep our defense.
So let's give them the ball in midfield.
So Doug Peterson was not asked about it in the transcript from Friday. He was asked about it in the post game on the 4th and inches play, and his quote was this, quote, "We just got beat. We just got beat. Credit them," end quote. And then
okay, that has nothing to do with the decision.
And he said there was no thought to challenge. It was confirmed upstairs. No thought to challenge on 3rd.
So that's fine. And Pete's probably right. I think it would have been a tough challenge because those spots are tough challenges.
Yeah.
But Pete, let me ask you a question. If it was 4th and inches on that play and it was the Philadelphia Eagles, would you say go for it or not?
I'm still punting the ball.
You are so full of it.
They were 4 for 4.
They know how to use that play?
Right.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Can't stop that play.
My point is, every team in the NFL should be able to get 2 inches from a quarterback sneak.
I would agree with you on that. But I still, in that scenario, if it was a high-scoring game and the Saints had been moving the ball over the place, I would agree with you 100%. But they weren't.
But, Pete, our defense was dead.
So let's give them the ball at midfield so they can be dead for 50 yards instead of 90.
How about go get 2 inches? And
I get that. But
how about not do
in that scenario,
Pete, how about not do it out of the gun?
How about in that scenario you punt? Hey, I texted you during the game, and you weren't so defiant that night.
No, I was, because you texted me right afterwards, and I was frustrated because now, in fairness, talking to people afterwards, the reason they were in the gun, I want to be fair to the coaching staff, because they said if Trevor's going to play, they're doing everything out of the gun because of his knee, and I get that. And so, based on that, Pete, knowing that you're going to be in the gun at 4th and inches, I would have punted too.
Right. They should have punted.
But in a normal situation, especially after I saw how well Trevor was moving around, come on, we got to be able to quarterback sneak it, guys.
Well, they've been such a good short yardage team so far in the last 2.
That's another reason, Pete, to punt it. I can't argue there with you because you're right. We have not been good on 3rd and short.
And what did they have? You gave them life. You almost cost yourself the game by giving them life. You gave them life in that spot. They didn't have life. You punt them in.
I think you're wrong, Pete. I thought they already had life before that because
how many yards of offense did they have at that point in the game? 170?
No, more than that. When did that was 4th quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they had just scored. They scored, remember, on that one possession. The only real possession they had that was worth a damn was the one they scored on. Taysom Hill scored the touchdown, JP.
So,
we just went through that.
So Taysom Hill scored second play of the 4th quarter. Jaguars got the ball, went 4 plays and then punted. Saints went 3 and out. Jaguars, this is the next drive. They got a first down on a penalty, defensive pass interference, and then they go to the 4th down and 1. And then the Saints come back after that, and 3 plays later, they're in the end zone. Cardo Thomas, 17 yards.
Yeah.
Because they only needed 50 yards.
And that one tied the game. Yeah.
If you're going to shotgun it there, I'd punt too. I'm with you, especially based on our 3rd and short offense right now, which is not very good. My frustration was more get under center and just quarterback sneak it. It's 2 inches.
I would agree. If you're going to go for it, you have to sneak it. But in that game, with the way the flow had gone, I would have punted.
Okay, unless you were confident in your quarterback sneak. Like if you were the Eagles, you're going for it there.
Yeah, and Jacksonville hasn't been confident in their quarterback sneak ever.
No.
Oh, that's not true. We were good sneakers back in the day.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm saying
this current iteration.
This group.
Yeah. No.
This group.
Yeah.
We're not, and I don't understand why, because Trevor's so big and athletic. Like, why aren't we better at that? It really frustrates me.
Some of it has to do with Fortner.
Yeah, fair. It's hard to argue.
He's not physically
powerful. He doesn't play low.
Right. Like, one thing, you talk about the Eagles doing it. Jason Kelsey's stomach is on the ground when he snaps it.
It really is amazing how low they get.
It's incredible. But yeah, that's me. That's my rant, my criticize the coach rant for the week, because it is going to get, I'm going to be honest about it. I just would have punted there. I think he should have punted there.
So Pete, I will agree. If you're going to go shotgun, I'm with you. I would agree with you.
Flow of the game dictates a little bit of that too.
More about 2 inches as an offensive lineman, and this is where me being a player can get me in trouble. I agree with you. So don't even say it, Pete. I felt like if we can't get 2 inches, we don't deserve to win. I know it's a player. I'm a player. That's a player.
I know. I get it. But you could also say, if we can't punt him in and hold him from going 90 to tie us, then we shouldn't win either.
But I don't play defense. I play offensive line.
I know.
And so your criticism's fair, but we have not done it yet of giving this coaching staff the kudos they deserve of 2 in London. And let's not forget coming off a disaster performance against Houston at home.
Brutal.
Hey, he's a damn good coach. I'm not saying it's supposed to show you they all make bad decisions.
I'm not saying you're not. I just want to make sure we highlight, because I agree with you. Your criticism's fair. I want to highlight what Doug Peterson and his staff have done over a 19-day period. 2 wins in London, managed the team over there, no issues, no complaining, nothing. Showed up, played, got it done, fly home, take 2 days off, play division rival, the Colts, beat the hell out of them, get beat up in the process, and then 4 days later, or 3 days later, get on a plane with a beat-up quarterback to New Orleans and go beat their rear ends at their home stadium. I mean, I am so impressed by what they did. That is because I don't think, and this is not talking down to fans at all, but I don't think the average fan understands how hard what they did is. And just the logistics, the change of time zones, the travel, the managing injuries on the road, you know, getting everyone ready mentally, game planning for the coaches, not being home doing it, out of your routine. I mean, there's so many different variables that go into pulling that off. And they did it with a bunch of injuries to key guys. Like, hats off. I mean, we got a hell of a coaching staff and a bunch.
I agree. That's a hard job. That's what they did. You know what else might have really helped, Tony? They bonded when they were overseas.
That's right.
You're such an ass, Pete. You are such an ass.
But the coaching staff deserves. Hey, look, I criticize the coaches for things they do. This staff has done a really nice job, and Mike Caldwell particularly has done a great job with that defense. And I think Doug Peterson, big picture, is an outstanding football coach, and you can just tell the way the players talk about him. There's a respect there.
I would argue, and we're not at the halfway point, and maybe we do it during the bye week, our players of the year and everything else so far. But I'll say right now, if I looked across the NFL after 7 games, which everyone's played at least 7, Doug Peterson's the coach of the year after 7 games, what he's done with his team.
Yeah, they were supposed to be good, though.
Pete?
What?
Back in a
You
moment.
picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
Pete, well, you did, which I'm all for it right now. At 1-2, how much would you have wagered if I'd have said they're going to win 4 straight?
Well, I didn't think they beat Buffalo.
Okay, so that's why,
Yeah.
But
No,
they
he's done
did
a great job.
They've done it.
Now, beat Pittsburgh on the road.
Yes, that would be another one.
I'm telling you what, we need to beat Pittsburgh, and we'll talk more about that coming up. Tough matchup, especially our offense and their defense. But you go 6-2, have a bye, and go into the 49ers. It's going to be Sunday night. It's getting flexed. I guarantee it. You heard
By the way, real quick, JP,
Really
we didn't
quick.
talk about Trayvon Walker. We do got to talk about that.
We will. We've got plenty of time. We've got over an hour remaining on the program to get to that and much more. It is, if you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Cancer patients across the Southeast make Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center in Jacksonville their first choice for treatment. Dr. Jonathan Melquist explains why.
We have so many resources that can help a patient from the very onset, and we just have a degree of unity and cohesive care that is hard to match. It's especially with the tougher cancers that we really excel.
Appointments available now. Call 844-632-2278.
The kick is up. It's good!
Score winning sub deals this Jaguars regular season at Firehouse Subs. Get 2 medium subs for just $10 after any game when the Jaguars kick a field goal of 40 yards or more. It's a bold deal for the bold city. Sign up at firehousesubs.com/field goals for Firehouse for offer details and to automatically receive this offer when you use your Firehouse Subs rewards account. Redeemable only at participating Jacksonville and Orlando area restaurants. Only available on the Firehouse Subs app and online ordering. Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with Zip Chair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a Zip Chair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli winding down the opening hour of the program. We'll get to more of the defensive performance coming up in the second hour after the Jaguars got it done Thursday night in the Superdome against the New Orleans Saints. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. And on October 24th, that's tomorrow, 5 to 6, head to the Publix at E-Town Exchange and meet Jags players for a special appearance. That is 11025 E-Town Parkway. It's down by 9B, just southeast of 295 down there. Tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m., Jaguars will be there. Some Jaguars will be in attendance. Let's take a look at the AFC South. The Titans and Texans had bye weeks this week. The Browns rallied to beat the Colts in a wild game, 39-38. Oh, boy, what happened here, Pete?
Well, Minshew was really good at times and really bad at times, and he turned the ball over 4 times, and one of them was in the end zone at the end of the half for a touchdown. But he did some good things against that defense, and there were some questionable calls at the end of that game, a pass interference penalty.
Well, that was the worst pass interference call I've ever seen.
He wasn't even the ball. He would have been Gumby, and he couldn't have caught that ball.
And by the way, it was incidental hand fighting that the other guy was initiating.
It was a terrible call.
Terrible. And this is a bigger issue I think we had because it happened last night too before I fell asleep at the end. I think and I'm not a big blame the officials guy, but I think the officiating's been terrible. I thought a couple of the missed calls, the lack of calls of the Eagles who are tackling guys that are rushing the passer yesterday multiple times, and the roughing the
passer. Oh my God!
It's like, and Kurt Warner said it on Twitter, and I'm not a big replay everything guy, but he made a great point. I think they have to make roughing the passer reviewable because these officials are out of control. There was another one I saw yesterday on Sunday afternoon. I can't remember who was playing. The player hit the quarterback. Oh, it was Buffalo, New England. The New England guy blitzed, hit Josh Allen in the chest. Josh Allen flops, throws his head back, and gets a penalty.
For putting his body on him.
No, it wasn't even on his body.
There was one.
Yeah, I saw that, but this was one, Pete. He came in shoulder to the chest. Josh Allen flops back, head goes back, falls down, and they called roughing the passer it gave him a first down. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, the official. Back in the day when they had the replacement officials, everybody said, "Oh my God, look how bad the officiating is." And the reality is, there ain't much difference between those guys and these guys. I promise you.
They're not very good right now.
No, they're not. The game's too fast. It's too fast. They need it. I've told Roger Goodell that they need an extra official on the field.
Well, but the other thing, Pete, is they are erring on the side of player safety, especially when it comes to the quarterbacks, and especially certain quarterbacks, and it's ruining the game.
Well, and Kareem Jackson just got suspended 4 games for hitting the guy in the helmet.
He had been ejected earlier in the season.
Before.
Yeah, he had been ejected already this year, too. Repeat offender kind of deal.
But I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I don't want to get in trouble.
Here's the irony in it. They protect guys for player safety reasons with the officiating, but they allow them to have a scrum like they do on that play for the Eagles where guys could easily somebody's going to get hurt in one of those scrums, by the way.
Yeah, you want your quarterback within like a ton of weight around him. It's a lot. We'll come back. Second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour. We'll keep it real, the Fanatics fan questions, and much more. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gate's frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
It's time for sunshine and summer showers, so it's more important than ever to make sure you call Crystal Clean for all your waterproofing needs. Waterproofing can extend the life of your building by keeping water outside where it belongs. And that Florida sun can beat up your business's paint job. Crystal Clean's painting services can bring your building back to life. From waterproofing to painting, schedule Crystal Clean today. Call 904-220-3337 or go to crystalclean.com. You don't have to worry when it's crystal clean.
My credit goes to the players for how they handled the last 3 weeks and really locked in to whether we were doing a walkthrough or a full practice, the mental side of the game and there's still obviously some mistakes out there being made, but overall from a team perspective, definitely pleased with how they've handled the last 3.5 weeks.
It's Doug Peterson, of course, Jaguars head coach, Friday after the Thursday Night Football win over the Saints. 4th win in a row for the Jaguars. And welcome back. It's the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour. And it's presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings, J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, and Pete Prisco. The Jaguars coming off the mini bye weekend after the win in the Superdome, 31-24 over the Saints. Now 4 in a row in 19 days, 4 stadiums in 3 cities in a 7-time zone stretch. Trevor Lawrence played through a knee injury Thursday night, ended up as the leading rusher for the Jags. The offense had that mid-game lull and then left the defense on the field for 87 plays. But they did hold up in the end zone in the end, at least on 4th down. That was following a huge drop of what could have been the game-tying touchdown for the Saints. That didn't happen, though. The Jags got it done. Game-winning touchdown from Lawrence to Christian Kirk. 44 yards came with 3:08 to play. Now it's on to Pittsburgh, to the Confluence, where the Jaguars will face the 4-2 Steelers. And, boy, hey, this is a team that has figured out a way to win some games in a tough stretch with some injuries and a lot of travel. Now they're a little rested going into Pittsburgh this week against a Steelers team that has a statistically, defensively, are not ranked very highly, but they do have some very good players on that defense. Obviously on the offensive side too, some weapons they can throw around. Younger quarterback. We'll get to the Steelers obviously coming up. Pete, I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about this Jaguars defensive line and pass rush. And Josh Allen, we got that in earlier. The linebacker play in the middle has been really good. We talked about that. The interior against the run especially is stout. I mean, they're number 4 in the league against the run. But you have tried to point out Trayvon Walker all show. Here's your chance. What's up?
Well, it's Tony agrees with me. We've talked about it. He's not getting to the quarterback. He's not impacting quarterback. And if you have a dynamic pass rusher and a good pass rusher on the other side, you would think that stuff would fall into your lap on the other side, and it doesn't even do that. I just don't understand. He hasn't improved his hands aren't any better. He still goes right smack into the middle of the tackle all the time. And so there's a great concern about what needs to be done over there. And I'm a big believer that they need to go explore some of these pass rushers who might be available. The Philadelphia Eagles, who went to the Super Bowl last year, didn't like some of their safety play. So you know what they did today? They traded to get Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
That's what a team that feels like it can make a run does.
What did they give up, Byard?
They gave up the safety. They gave up 2 picks and the safety that they acquired, that they signed away from the Steelers. The brother of the line. What's his name? I'm having a brain. But it's nothing major. But they feel like their safety play hasn't been good enough. And so you go make a move to go get him.
Terrell Edmonds. They give up Terrell Edmonds and a 5th round.
Edmonds, the safety from Pittsburgh that they signed in the offseason.
And a 5th rounder and a 6th rounder in the next draft.
They'll go get Kevin Byard to that defense. Once they get Blankenship back, now you have Byard and Blankenship playing in your deep middle. That's a hell of a group back there. They saw a weakness, felt they needed to get better, and they did. Jacksonville has a pass rush weakness on one side. They need to get better. If you're going to win if you're going to go to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, you have to be able to get to the quarterback from both sides. And I don't think Trayvon Walker can do that. I still think, I'm a big believer, Trayvon Walker puts on 20 pounds and becomes a good inside player.
Pete, I guess the biggest or the most concerning thing, let's just stick to Thursday night. He was going against a guy who got brought up from the practice squad that day in Cam Irving.
It was usually terrible when he was in his prime, by the way.
It's not like he was going against Ramczyk, who's a good right tackle in this league. And maybe Cam Irvin's better than I'm giving credit for.
No, he's not.
But that was my biggest, like this was an opportunity. You're going against a guy, practice squad guy, obviously good enough to be in the NFL, and it started before. But you would have thought he could have got some more work done against Cam Irvin.
He was somewhere I saw where he was credited with 3 pressures. I looked through that tape again today to see him. I didn't see him. I don't know how they credit him. You remember one in the last drive?
At the end, he got around the legs of Carr at the
because Allen came on the side and Carr kind of bailed toward him, and they had Irvin had kind of taken him out of the play, but because he bailed there, he was able to get his hands close to him. But it really wasn't a pressure where he won. He wasn't good. If Carr stays there, he's not winning, and you saw that a lot, Tony. You saw him just take him up the field a lot, or get into his body and just take him up the field. And look, again, if he wasn't the first overall pick in the draft, maybe you'd sit there and say, okay, give him a little time. But he's the first overall pick in the draft, and he's not a bad football player. He's actually a pretty good football player. He's just not a good pass rusher. And you would think by now that there would be some moves or techniques or hand usage or anything to show that he could become a pass rusher. When was the last? Okay, I'm going to ask. This is a legitimate question. When was the last time you saw him whip a tackle and go get a sack? I'm not talking about a stunt where he loops from around the inside or anything. When was the last time? Can you remember one?
I can't. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I can't remember him either. JP, what's he credited with on sacks this year? 3?
Let's see. Yeah, let's see the official statistics. Jaguars defense, Trayvon Walker, 2.5.
Okay, so he had the one last week against Indy where he came.
That was a half sack. That was the half. He split
was that
a
half,
one,
or was that a?
It was the half in the book. He was split, and then he had the whole sack week 4. That would have been against the Buffalo Bills, and then he had a whole sack week 1.
Yeah, and I don't think he won on any of them. Just pure go up the field and win. And that's the problem. Because a good football player, and he is a good football player, will get a sack here and there where he stunts in, loops in. And even he's not even as great at that anymore. We've talked about that in the past. I just think if you put 20 pounds on him and stuck him down, and that might not be the answer right now because you don't have anybody else who can replace him right now. But if you made a deal for Danielle Hunter, you would.
What's it going to take to get Danielle Hunter?
Rick Spielman, who actually drafted Danielle Hunter, wrote a story at the 33rd team that he works for, as well as working for us. And I think he said it would be like a third 1 year and a fourth the next year or something like that for the rental. Because you're renting him. You're not going to be able to pay both him and Josh Allen. That's a given. But for a third and a fourth or fourth and a fifth or whatever, it's worth renting him.
I would do a fourth and a fifth to this second. And I probably could be talked into a third and a fourth.
Because you get Danielle Hunter and add him to that defense with Josh Allen, and then Trayvon Walker becomes a rotation player. All of a sudden, you have talent all across the board.
Is Danielle Hunter a defensive left? Can he line up there over the right tackle?
Both.
He plays
both. They play both.
Okay.
But I just think when you look at that, that's a no-brainer to me. That's a no-brainer. Now, they play tonight. Should they beat the 49ers tonight? Probably not. But if they did,
beating the 49ers.
That 49ers team you saw last week wasn't very good.
You want to Pete?
No, they're not beating the 49ers. I agree with you.
Who are you picking?
It's prime time. Kirk Cousins in prime time. We know how that goes. But okay, so let's just say they lose this game. They're
done.
And he can't come back next year. He's not coming back next year. So if you're Minnesota, you put him on the market. And if you're Jacksonville, you should be leading that. Go get him.
If I would be calling them today saying, after you lose to the 49ers tonight, we're going to give you a 4th and 5th. And they're going to say, no, great. What will it take? A 3 and a 4. Okay, done. We want him here Tuesday.
And I think if you did that, it would be just Tony, the 1 year, you guys trade to get Clyde Simmons that 1 year? I'm trying to remember. Or no, he was a free agent.
He got cut at the last.
That's right. He was
right
a free
before
agent.
the last cuts. We signed them the day we were playing the Broncos, the last preseason game, and he flew to Denver and flew back.
That's right. And that's right. He wondered what they were doing, or Coughlin did something. Then what are you doing?
So Coughlin at halftime lost it because we were getting our butts beat by the Broncos.
That's right.
This is preseason, by the way.
Right.
The 4th game. He flipped over the table with all the Gatorade on it, and got all over Clyde's suit.
Yeah, and Clyde was like, "What is this? What am I getting myself into?"
This is the preseason. What are we doing?
But adding a guy like Clyde, when they did
Changed
to that, it changes the whole dynamic of the defense. That's what Daniil Hunter would do for this defense.
Well, in 17, remember, we couldn't stop the run, and they went and traded for Darius Williams. And all of a sudden, that defense became one of the best defenses in the history of this franchise.
Oh, Marcel Darius.
Marcel
Oh,
Darius.
I'm sorry, Marcel Darius.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. They have to make a move. And
by the way, the Vikings GM's a young guy, right? Kwesi Adofo-Mensah
Yeah,
was.
he didn't draft him. He didn't draft him.
But he was with San Francisco when Balky was in San Francisco. He was the manager of football research and development.
So Brett knows him. Call him.
Here's the other part of that, though. The other part of the equation. If you're Trent and you make that move, is that an indictment of your first overall pick and, in fact, an indictment of you?
Pete, great GMs.
Who cares, right?
In my opinion, great leaders, great GMs don't think that way. They make decisions based on the information at hand, in the present, and what's best for the organization.
You would make the deal.
Done. I'd be trading for Daniil Hunter. Now, I'm not going to give up a second for a round.
No, you're not going to give up, nor would you give up Brian Burns. You wouldn't give up a first or a second to go get him, or Chase Young. But if you could get them for a package of a couple picks, a 4 and a 5 or something like that, or 3 and a 5 or something, you have to be willing to go make that move. And here's the other part of that equation. One of those picks this year is tied to an extension for Calvin Ridley, the 3rd. Is Calvin Ridley getting – right now, as is Calvin Ridley getting an extension from Jacksonville?
I mean, who knows? It's too early.
But right now, I'm saying right now, as is.
Probably not.
But they can't trade those picks, Pete, is the point. Right?
Right. Because you have to save the – if you're going to give him an extension, if you're giving him an extension, you have to have that pick available.
But you can't trade it now just in case all of a sudden all hell breaks loose and you don't.
What's the most we have to give up for Calvin? Is 2?
Yeah, if they re-sign him, I think it's a 2. I think there's certain benchmarks to get to a 3rd, but yeah.
No, yeah. I personally I can't right now as is. They're not going to re-sign him. I just can't with all the Trevor Lawrence deal coming, everything else. They can't re-sign him.
Hell, I don't know if Minnesota do this because if you look at the AFC, and this is why. Because I watch football all Sunday. Red zone is the greatest invention to mankind, by the way. Just you get to see so much. Because I don't have the package, so I'm too cheap to pay for it for the one Sunday a year.
Yeah.
But there's nobody in the AFC, Pete, that I don't think we can beat.
The Chiefs.
No, but we can. I'm confident we could beat them. Now, would they be favored? Yes, no doubt about it, because it's going to be in Kansas City at this point and everything else. But if you went out there, Pete, and played Kansas City, you'd say, yeah, we can beat them.
Well, they almost beat them the first time if they hadn't gone for it at midfield.
So my point is saying this: there's nobody in the AFC. Like right now, the way I feel about this team, I think we are one of the premier teams in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you 100%. I thought it before the season.
And you never know how often you're going to be in this situation. I think we'll be in it a lot because of Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, no doubt about it. But Pete, would you think about, based on how certain draft picks are tied up with Calvin Ridley for next year, let's just say those are tied up. Let's say we can't do anything. Would you give a two overall pick, number 2 second round pick in 25 for Danielle Hunter?
Maybe. I'd give it the third in 25 though.
Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. You give him the third probably this year.
Yeah, but then what linebacker from what university would he not be able to draft that year?
No, but my point is, you have an opportunity because you've proven after 7 games, and I believe it's going to be the same after 8 games. So I think they beat the Steelers this week because I don't think the Steelers are very good offensively at all.
Played better the other day, though.
Okay, whatever. If you're 6-2, which I think we will be, if you're 6-2, you are sitting in a position where the number 1 overall seed's still in play. A lot of football left. You've proven you're one of the best teams in the AFC. And you need more pass rushing help because right now the only guy who can win consistently, at a high rate is Josh Allen. Do you give maybe a little bit more than you're comfortable with to go get that guy to complete your defense?
Yes,
I think you do.
I would. How much better would the secondary be if they had another guy rushing the passer like that?
And by the way, we haven't got to that. Monteric Brown played one hell of a game.
He did. In the secondary.
Give that kid credit because everyone's talking about him. Everyone's worried about him. And he had the game-winning stop at the end. And he had another one in the first half against Michael Thomas that was big time. Monteric Brown, hats off to that guy.
Yep.
We'll come back. We'll keep it real when we come back. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jaguars, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
It's football season and time to take your game to the next level with a Ford F-150 truck. Light up your tailgate with an available Pro Power onboard generator. And with an available 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, you can tow just about anything you need to rule the stadium lot. Ford F-150, part of the F-Series lineup that have been the best-selling pickups for 46 straight years. Get to your local Ford store today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans, Everbank is building its future on the partnership and the performance you know and trust. Take advantage of high-yield savings solutions with money market, online savings, CDs, and more. Visit everbank.com/Jaguars today for your financial advantage. Everbank, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ever wish you could make your Mondays go a little smoother? Here's a pro tip. Order online to dodge the line and kick off your week with free coffee Mondays. Every Monday through October 30th, Dunkin' Rewards members can get a free medium hot or iced coffee with any purchase. And you get to earn points to spend on even more free Dunkin'. Not a member? Join Dunkin' Rewards on the app and get even more Dunkin' deals. Nothing beats Dunkin' Rewards. Jaguars run on Dunkin'. Limit 1 per member per Monday. Additional charges and terms may apply. Exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Brooks Rehabilitation has more than 50 years of experience serving the North Florida community with cutting-edge rehabilitation care, ranging from joint replacements, sports injuries, and balance issues to traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and strokes. Their highly trained clinical teams span across their system of care to include inpatient, outpatient, skilled nursing, assisted living and memory care, home health, and adaptive community programs. Learn more at brooksrehab.org. Brooks is proud to be the rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Crown Royals That Deserves a Crown program recognizes local heroes for making a positive impact in the community. The Jaguars and Crown Royal are giving back to those who serve this season, celebrating these individuals with the ultimate VIP Jaguars home game experience. Nominate someone who deserves a crown today at jaguars.com/Crown Royal Promotion. Please drink responsibly.
We all know who Tyson Campbell is, and obviously he's our guy, but to have solid backup players that can fill in and step up, it's just exactly what I was talking to the team about, the next man up mentality, and we got to fill in the gap. And listen, Mike Caldwell did a nice job calling the game because we helped Buster a little bit with safety help and things of that nature. But just really pleased with how Buster played. In that environment. That's an extremely tough environment to go in there, and of course they've got Olave and Michael Thomas and some really good skilled athletes out there, and he held up nicely.
There you have it, head coach Doug Peterson with the answer about the cornerback play in Superdome Thursday night. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. Get ready for the Tailgate with Tony benefiting the Boselli Foundation coming up Sunday, November 19th, Metropolitan Park ahead of the Titans-Jaguars matchup. It starts at 10 a.m., finishes at 12:30 before the 1 p.m. kick. Live music, Q&A with Tony and Jaguars legends. There are all-inclusive ticket options. Visit BoselliFoundation.com for more and use the promo code TONY50, TONY50 for $50 off your entry fee. It all benefits the foundation, Tony. How about that?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be, as it said, at the Met Park. It'll be live music, food, VIP section. It's going to be a huge tailgate leading up to the Titans game. And we have a bunch of great sponsors selling tickets. Hopefully it's packed, and every dollar will go to our teacher fellowship program that we do here in North Florida, as well as our mentoring of young men who are either in or getting out of juvenile detention centers.
Fantastic. Oh, go check it out. BoselliFoundation.com for all the
sounds like
information.
a great time, too.
Yeah, you're going to come up for it, Pete.
Yeah, believe me. If I could do that on a Sunday, I would love to.
Hey, it's time to keep it real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients, award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. And I just realized that Tony's probably been hoarding the boxes of wine to use for the event in a few weeks. That's probably where all the wine is, Pete.
If you know what, though? I would donate my case to Tony's event if that were indeed the. So tell Bob, Robert, and gang that we would love to get some cases donated. And Tony, I don't drink a lot of wine, so I would donate my case to you.
Wow, how about that?
Thank you, Peter.
Love that. The conversation today about keeping it real has to do with the secondary, and coming into the season, that was a question mark. What's this thing really going to look like? Who's playing nickel? Can Darius Williams hold up on the outside? You know what Tyson Campbell is. What's the depth there? How do you feel about it now after 7 games, especially at the cornerback position, considering this? Darius Williams leads the league in passes defensed, 11 of them. And in the game on Thursday, Herndon had 7 tackles, a quarterback hit, 2 passes defensed. Darius Williams, 5 tackles, 2 of the passes defensed. And you mentioned Monteric Brown, Tony, 4 tackles, 2 passes defensed in his first career start. That's a trio of corners that played really big. How do you feel now after 7 weeks?
So I will say I was wrong in the offseason. I was critical. I thought they needed to go get a free agent corner to add depth because I was worried about what we were going to do at nickel. I was worried about, depth across the board at the cornerback position. And obviously had confidence in Tyson, great player, and has proven it out so far. Darius Williams has played way better than I thought he would. He's doing great.
What's almost laughable now is that they tried to play him inside last year early in the season. That's laughable, by the way.
Yeah, I guess I was just jaded because he was not a very good nickel. He's played great. Trey Herndon, and I give Mike Caldwell credit because he's putting Trey Herndon in positions that he's good at, which is playing predominantly zone, blitzing him on occasion, and he's a very good run defender. So I give Trey. I never thought Trey was a bad football player.
He's just bad when he has to chase receivers.
I just thought he was limited. Like, you can't play man, and they wanted to play man last year, and I'm like, guy, he can't.
Can't do it.
That's not his skill set.
No.
And so I give Mike Caldwell a lot of credit. Trey's a good football player. He's doing a great job. And then, my goodness, based on the preseason and everything else, I did not see Monteric Brown coming in and playing the way he did against the Saints. So,
particularly after the way he played the week before.
Yeah, I didn't see it, Pete. So I still, when I say I was wrong, I still think they probably should have got depth during the offseason there. But they've proven that they didn't need to, obviously, because the way this group's playing after 7 weeks, they're playing great.
And I agree with you. Darius Williams has exceeded all expectations. He's been outstanding. Tyson Campbell's a really, really talented corner. Herndon, you're right. They've covered him up, and he's played well. Monteric Brown, the week before was bad when he went in. I mean, there's no other way. And seeing the way he played the other day, he looked like an NFL starting corner. He played that well. I'm impressed, and I think the secondary as a whole, because Cisco's taken the next step, and Rayshon Jenkins, he'll feast or famine, but he's been the last couple of games he's been really good. So I think as a group, it's much better than I thought it would be. Much better.
Remember going into the game, Doug Peterson told me on the pregame interview, Tony, you'll remember this, that, Monteric Brown is a player to watch in this game. He's his first ever start, and we've got Tavon Campbell up off the practice squad just in case there's some exposure there. We got to make some changes. So they were even going into the game, let's just be careful and give him all the help we can. They used some safety help. They changed a lot of things going in, but all the credit to Monteric for stepping up.
When he
and
was
playing
matched
big.
up in man-to-man coverage, he held his own.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think they should have added depth during the offseason, like I said.
I think part of that was because of the preseason. They thought Braswell would be a guy that would be factoring in, so they thought he's on IR, right? So he's eligible to come back at some point, but he'll be back. But I think that the Bucs are starting a nickel corner who's a rookie from Rutgers who was on the same team with Braswell, and Braswell was the better player. So I think maybe they thought he could come in and be a part of it too. But I'm with you. They probably should have added a veteran corner at some point for depth anyways.
Yeah, but with that said, where I was wrong is I did not see them playing this well.
No, me either. Imagine if they had another pass rusher.
That is Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. If Pete doesn't know anything else, he certainly knows the assignment of Keeping It Real. I'll say that.
Yeah, always keep it real.
Oh,
I would say, isn't the whole show Keeping It Real?
Yeah, but we really keep it real when we get to Keeping It Real.
It is realer than real. It's the realest.
It's a super real segment.
We're back in a moment with the Fanatics fan questions. And it's time to check yes to see country music legend George Strait with Chris Stapleton in Little Big Town, May 11th at Everbank Stadium. Get your tickets. They are on sale very soon. The pre-sale for the venue started already. Check yes at everbankstadium.com. And there are special pre-sale codes available. What a show that should be in May. This is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game. Brooks Rehabilitation is hiring nurses who want to be empowered as advocates, educators, care coordinators, and leaders in exceptional patient care. They have open RN, LPN, HHA, and CNA positions across their inpatient, skilled nursing, and home health care settings. Join their nationally recognized team, where you'll serve as a central team member doing what you do best, providing exceptional patient care. Apply at careers.brooksrehab.org.
Everyone wins when two great traditions team up. Yucatan Guacamole is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Our authentic guacamole recipe starts with hand-scooped avocados and ends up in your hands fresh and ready to enjoy. Grab some on game day at the Yucatan Cantina or Yucatan nacho carts around the stadium or at local retail stores. Sack your snack game with Yucatan Guacamole.
Ever wish you could make your Mondays go a little smoother? Here's a pro tip. Order online to dodge the line and kick off your week with free coffee Mondays. Every Monday through October 30th, Dunkin' Rewards members can get a free medium hot or iced coffee with any purchase. And you get to earn points to spend on even more free Dunkin'. Not a member? Join Dunkin' Rewards on the app and get even more Dunkin' deals. Nothing beats Dunkin' Rewards. Jaguars run on Dunkin'. Limit 1 per member per Monday. Additional charges and terms may apply. Exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, Emsculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Taylor Doll here for Renewal by Anderson. Upgrade your home with a winning combination of style and performance. For a limited time, get 20% off of every window, 20% off all patio doors, and 20% off of installation. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Offer expires October 31st. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com. License number CGC 1527613.
Travis is a tough kid, and we've seen that over the course of last year, for the start of this year, and yeah, we've got to be mindful that we're not overworking him. We got to get Tank and DeErnest, and if Jamichael's up, we got to get those guys involved in the offense and get them some more touches right now. Especially on third down, we like TJ, on third down, and from not only from a protection standpoint, but the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And we just got to keep the other guys coming. And it's not that we don't have confidence in them. We just feel like Trevor or TJ rather has the hot hand, and we continue to keep him going.
That's head coach Doug Peterson, of course, discussing Travis Etienne Jr. He's now scored 2 touchdowns in 3 consecutive games, the first Jaguar in history to do such a thing on the ground. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick with Tony Boselli and Pete Prisco. And the second hour is presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. Tonight they brought some plain wings. They brought some pretzel bites with beer cheese on the side. And for some reason they brought salad. I don't know what that was for, but they brought...
Not for you, JP.
Yeah.
We know it's not for you.
Pretzel bites with a little cheese is always a good thing when you're having a few beers.
Yeah,
JP,
right?
you can't have beers on the air,
No,
though, buddy.
No, you can't. No, in London, yeah.
Wow.
You missed Pete. You weren't there. I don't know.
You're admitting that.
We were at a pub.
Yeah.
Pete.
What do you want?
So, JP, what are you going to go into today? The pretzel bites or the wings?
Yes.
Both.
Yes, and it's been done already. I mean, I already had some right before the show. So they always treat our production crew great on Mondays. Everybody's in here
He
editing.
was a little sluggish to start the show, wasn't he, Tony?
was the pretzel bites?
Wasn't at the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome to the last 20 years. That's what it is. Let's take a look at some Fanatics fan questions. Why not, right? Jaguars fans, gear up at Fanatics.com. With all latest Jag styles, shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. We put out the cat signal on X. Here are the best posts that we came up with and had created today. This is from that St. Aug Jags fan. Why is the offense struggling to play a complete game, and what can be done to fix that?
Well, let's level set here a little bit, guys. Last time I checked, they scored over 30 points again.
One was a defensive touchdown.
It doesn't matter. Scoring is way down in this league this year. And every offense, for the most part, has moments where they have huge lulls and struggle. And so, yes, this offense is not what I think either Pete or I expected. With that said, I don't think they're struggling. I think they're not at the level we expected. But still, if you look at their production based on the rest of the league, they're in the upper 20-30% of this league, I would say.
In terms of what?
The points, Pete?
I'll tell you in a second. Scoring offense, points per game, they are 9th.
Yeah, so they're a top 10 scoring offense. Could it be better? Sure. Does it need to be better? Yes, I think it will get, and I think it will get better. But I don't like the narrative that they're struggling. I don't think that's accurate.
They're 14th in yards per game.
I don't think they're struggling, though.
No, it's just not the dynamic offense that we expected it to be.
I agree.
Or at least me.
Me too. I thought. Listen, I said on this show and on Dan and Jeff's show in the morning, I thought this would be the most prolific offense in the history of this franchise. And when I was thinking about points and yards, and they're not that right now.
No, they're not.
But I don't think they're struggling.
Well, how many points have they scored total? What's the total point number then? It's so they're averaging. I mean, if you look at it, they're on pace for a heck of a scoring season, though.
They've scored 173 points, Pete.
So, okay, divide that out, and you figure, what, in 7 games?
173, you said,
Yep,
JP?
Yeah.
Correct.
Divided by 7.
It's about
25, just under 25 points a game.
Okay, now multiply that by 17.
420 points.
Yeah. I thought they'd score 500 or push for 500. They're not going to get that, but they're going to get 400 and something, and that's still a pretty good season. And if they get the thing rolling, they still haven't. I still don't think we've seen the best of this offense, and not even close.
No.
I don't
When was
either.
the last time? Has there been any point in the season where they've gone up, scored, drove down the field, 10 play, 80-yard drive, 10 play, 80-yard drive, boom, 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 up and down the field?
The first part of the Saints game, I was like, this is the offense. They were bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I still think there's going to be more chunk plays coming.
I agree.
At the Black Gatsby _ when will Pete give Trayvon love?
I mean, I said he's a good football player. I just don't think he's a good pass rusher. I'll give him love when they put 20 on him and move him inside and let him become a beast on the inside, because I think he could.
I don't understand the question. I don't think Pete has killed Trayvon. And
No.
what is there something we are missing? I guess would be my question back, that we should be applauding him that we haven't called out, because I think both Pete and I think he's a really good football player. Is disruptive against the run. Now I don't think he was that disruptive against the run, at least as much as he had in the past against the Saints. But I think he's a good football player. I don't think Pete and I have ever said anything different. We question the pass rush.
Yeah, somebody sent me something where he's in pressure rate percentage of pass rushers. He's like, they consider him 7th in the league or something like that. I'm like, what? No. I don't understand where that came from.
Is that some website from someone's basement? Because there's more Here's the problem with all the analytics in today's world. You never know where they come from and what are they looking at and who is putting these numbers together. There's not like there's no official. Like, tell me the official win rate.
And Tony, we talked about the one pressure we kind of gave him credit for and the other day, and I just, that's not, to me, that's not really winning.
Yeah.
Next question, at Will P888, are you concerned about Agnew having more touches than Ridley? Well, that's not for the season, obviously, but last week's game he did.
No, Pete talked about it. Ridley was doubled a lot of that game.
Yeah, they set out to take him away. That's what they wanted to do. And you get a play like you get to Kirk late in the game because they did take him away.
How about the shot that Agnew took on the punt return that hit Tavon Campbell in the back? The muff punt.
That was not pretty. I'm glad he wasn't concussed because he took a shot right to the chops.
Got smoked.
Yeah.
And was evaluated, then came back in the game, which is.
Yeah, but that was big too. They held him without a touchdown in that scenario.
Yeah.
Held him to a field goal there.
It was big. Another example of the defense stepping up in a big moment when they were on the field a lot. One more question. This is from at Trevorville. Chase Young or Brian Burns or Danielle Hunter, should they try and acquire one of them before the deadline? If they do, which current starter on defense sits?
So I don't think I'd go up with Brian Burns because I don't think the Panthers are going to give him up unless you have a first or second rounder. And I don't think they're going to sign him long term because I think ultimately Josh is earning that right now. I don't know what it would cost to get Chase Young, another young player. I don't think as much as Brian Burns because he has some injury history. So either I would kick tires on Chase Young, but my choice would be Danielle Hunter.
I would go after Danielle Hunter because I don't think you'd have to give up as much to go get him in that scenario. By the way, here I found it. The top 10. This is Seth Walder, who I think is an analytics guy. The top 10 players in pass rush win rate in Week 7 through the late game window. So it was during this game. Okay. Trayvon Walker was number 7. What are they watching? You watched the tape, didn't you, Tony? And you watched the game.
I don't understand that, but
Josh Allen was 4th.
Seth Walder, a sports analytics content specialist for ESPN.
Okay, here's the other one, Tony. Josh Allen was 4th. Cam Jordan was 5th.
How is Cam Jordan 5th when they had one pressure on the entire night?
I don't get it. I don't get this. So that goes to show you. Sometimes me and Tony get all over PFF and places like that for their analytics and everything. There's no conceivable way that Trayvon Walker had this tie. By the way, tied Aaron Donald yesterday for 7th. He was 7th on the most pass rush win rate. I mean, how do you calculate that?
Pete, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because you know how I feel in general about the people watching the tape. Do they understand what they're looking at and what everyone's responsibilities are?
I mean, I sent out a tweet the other day when he was watching the game before I even watched the tape and said, did he even make the trip? I mean, yeah, I didn't see, and then go back and watch it a couple times. I don't see the pressures. I just don't. So, and that's not to kill him because I've said he's a good football player. He's just not an edge rusher. That's not what he is. I think he could be an all-world down player. I really do.
There you have it. Tony's not. He's kind of shutting it down on this one. He's done.
No, I'm not shutting it down. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm with Pete. I mean, it's
you agree that he could end up being a pretty good down player if you put 20. He'd be Calais Campbell-ish. You know,
I think he's an explosive, strong, long defensive lineman. I do not, but he has not shown me to date that he is an edge rusher.
Correct.
All right, the questions are in. Thanks for all the submissions today on X. A lot of good posts today. We always like those. And kick off the second half of the season at the bank when the Jaguars take on the San Francisco 49ers Sunday, November 12th. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock for now, at least, and tickets are going fast. Secure your seats, jaguars.com/tickets. We'll see what happens. Hey, the window to flex it could be coming, and we'll see if NBC pulls the trigger or not and goes after it. But it would be a big ball game if both teams could win this week, Tony, for sure.
I'd love to see it flex. That'd be great for the city. Don't you?
Oh, it'd be awesome. Another night game. They already got 2 on the schedule coming up, and the Bengals and the Ravens. And if they were to flex into one mid-season, that would be a
When
huge...
are those Bengals and Ravens games?
December. They're in December. They're not far apart from each other either, and they are Jaguars schedule. Bengals December 4th is Monday night, and then 8:20 on December 17th, Week 15. So Week 13 and Week 15.
I mean, that's a little stretch there when you look at that.
49ers. All right, so Steelers this week, bye week. 49ers, Titans at the Texans, which is never easy, and then home against the Bengals, at the Browns, home against the Ravens.
That won't be easy.
I mean, and then the Ravens at home, and then at the Bucks.
Bucks, Panthers, and Titans. And by then the Titans will be playing a rookie quarterback probably. The Titans obviously are in sell-off mode. If they got rid of Kevin Byard, they're in sell-off mode. So who's next? Derrick Henry?
Pete, I'm with you. I mean, I thought the Titans would be a bigger challenge this year. But based on getting rid of Byard and kind of how they're playing,
quarterback's hurt.
It could be getting interesting for them.
Yeah, like the next time you play them, or both times you play them, it could be with a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Which means technically, if that were the case, you should have been playing 6 games in your division against rookie quarterbacks because Anthony Richardson. Right, you played him once. You would have been playing him twice. Then you got C.J. Stroud twice, and probably Will Levis because even if Malik Willis starts, he's not going to last there. So you might get a rookie quarterback in 2 of those games. That changes the dynamic of those division games for sure.
Well, Pete, I think both of us thought.
Did we lose him again?
Oh, there he is.
What'd you say?
Yeah, say it again.
I said I think Pete, both you and I had them going 5-1 in the division this year. Yeah. I think that's where we ended up. And if you look at it, they're 2-1 right now. They got Houston again, probably their toughest division matchup left because of the way CJ Stroud's playing. But you should sweep based on where the Titans are going and where we're going right now, you should expect to sweep them.
But the schedule is still tough. I mean, me and JP just talked about it. You got the Steelers. That's not an easy game. Then you get the Niners, 2 physical teams in a row. Then you get the Titans.
But you have a bye week between the 2.
Right. Then you get the Titans. Then you get the Texans. Then the Texans. Then that December little run where you get Monday Night Football against the Bengals, the Browns on the road, and then the Ravens at home.
It's tough.
You know, if you're a good team, you can handle some of those, though.
And then the closing little.
Wait a second. I don't don't give me if.
Yeah.
They are a good team. They just handled a tough 4-game stretch, and they handled it like pros.
That's great. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm saying if you want to take that next step and be the number 1 seed, you're going to have a stretch like that again.
I see before the season they should win. What I say, 13 games.
You said 13-4, Pete.
Yeah. So that means they got to go the rest of the way. They got to go what 7-2.
They have to go 8-2. I had them at 11-6.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go 8-2 with that schedule because the Ravens. But the last 3 are all winnable. Easily. Buccaneers on the road, Panthers at home, Titans on the road. If the Titans are packing it up.
Well, Pete, but I actually think if you go through there's no doubt Pittsburgh always tough. In Pittsburgh, tough game. 49ers, probably the most talented team if they're healthy.
Toughest game of all of them.
Tough. Cleveland, you have Cleveland coming up.
Great defense.
Not very good offensively, but you better strap it up defensively.
Bengals will be tough.
Joe Burrow, they can get going, and you have the Ravens who 5-2, and Lamar Jackson is playing from the pocket more.
Lamar Jackson's playing great. He played great yesterday.
He's playing great. So you got, but So they're all tough games, and there's and then there's ones you're not thinking about. Houston's no cakewalk, just based on the history of this franchise.
No. It's a tough schedule.
But Pete, every one of those games we just talked about, I think we could. I mean, yeah, it's hard, but it's not like, oh gosh, we have no. I think we should win. We should we should beat the 49ers in our own stadium with them traveling across the country. We should beat them.
By the way, think about this for a second. The number 1 scoring defense in the league, Baltimore, coming up. San Francisco, number 2 scoring defense in the league. You already play Kansas City, they're the number 3 scoring defense in the league. You already play Buffalo, they're the number 5 scoring defense in the league. You play Tampa Bay, they're the number 6 scoring defense in the league. You play New Orleans, they're the number 7 scoring defense in the league. You play Texans, they're number 8. The Falcons are number 9. Cleveland is number 10. So that means
Did Cleveland go from the number 1 scoring defense to number 10 in 1 week?
19.2 points. Yeah. Think about this. The only top 10 defense in terms of scoring that Jacksonville doesn't play is Dallas.
Tough schedule.
There's always the Super Bowl. We're back in a moment.
JP, off the top rope. Boom.
Back in a moment, we'll go around the National Football League. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gate's frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's football season, and time to take your game to the next level with a Ford F-150 truck. Light up your tailgate with an available Pro Power onboard generator. And with an available 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, you can tow just about anything you need to rule the stadium lot. Ford F-150, part of the F-Series lineup that have been the best-selling pickups for 46 straight years. Get to your local Ford store today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brooks Rehabilitation has more than 50 years of experience serving the North Florida community with cutting-edge rehabilitation care, ranging from joint replacements, sports injuries, and balance issues to traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and strokes. Their highly trained clinical teams span across their system of care to include inpatient, outpatient, skilled nursing, assisted living and memory care, home health, and adaptive community programs. Learn more at brooksrehab.org. Brooks is proud to be the rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm sure you guys asked Christian. He kind of did all the work there. It's a play that we run. You know, we like it out of empty, and it's a good matchup typically for us with Christian. And just reading it top down, you know, I gave Evan a look. It was split safety and the safety attached to Evan, and then just had our one-on-one, and Christian ran a great route underneath. And honestly, just trying to talking to press for the play, just kind of trying to at least get something going, get a completion. Kind of how we played the whole game, especially with not wanting to hold the ball back there with, my knee and not taking any hits and all that stuff. So just wanted to find a completion and get us going. And worst case, let's get some points. Let's get a field goal, and the game was tied at that point. And then Christian, when I threw it, I thought it was going to be, maybe a 10-yard gain. I knew he had 20 on the angle, but then he took it to the house. So that was a great play by him to finish it and see that opportunity and go get it.
His quarterback, of course, Trevor Lawrence, after the game in New Orleans. That was about the game-winning touchdown, 44-yarder to Christian Kirk, where Kirk caught it and ran the distance. Jaguars have now won 4 in a row, and it's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings, J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, and Pete Prisco. And for 10 years, Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory, and go Jags.
Can I, JP, real quick?
Yeah.
Did Trevor Lawrence send out a tweet? Did you see it?
So
that's a parody account. That's not
Is
him.
it? It can't be him, right?
No.
That if it's a parody account, that parody account has 280-something thousand followers.
No, that's certainly his account. Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
Did you see that? Y'all
It
keep
says-
your opinions, and we'll keep finding ways to win.
That's what he says. Hashtag analysts.
That must have been directed at somebody on Richard Sherman, I think.
Yeah, what did Richard? I thought when I read it, I'm like, there's no chances. I just figured it was a parody account, but I guess it is, Trevor. I love it. By the way, I never saw what Richard said. I saw a lot of tweets referring to. What did he actually say?
I think it was. I didn't hear it either. I think it was something along the lines of he's not that impressed and he's not the franchise quarterback or something, or something along those lines. I didn't hear it exactly either.
He said, quote, "He was supposed to be a generational talent. I just haven't seen it," end quote. So,
yeah.
There you go.
I don't know what Rich is looking at, but look, are the numbers gaudy like I thought they would be? No. But if you go back and look at his numbers over the last 17 games, if you just project them out like that's an entire season, remember he had to have the enema to get rid of Urban. So the entire season projected out last 17 games, his numbers are pretty impressive.
So Pete, because here's the thing that I think, at least let me, from my perspective, and I'm not bad-mouthing anybody, but everyone talks about Justin Herbert, how great a player Justin Herbert is, and so on. And I think he's a fabulous quarterback, young quarterback. But he also throws a bunch of bad picks in the fourth quarter. He has, he could not finish a game in the playoffs where they had a, 3-touchdown lead. You can go down the list. Now, I'm not saying it's all his fault. I questioned some of his head coaching.
He's the most pressured quarterback. Yesterday was so pressured.
He was pressured. So I'm not saying it's all him, but at the end of the day, what's Trevor's job is to lead this team to victories and do what it takes to win. And I think Trevor I know he's a franchise quarterback. I know he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in this league. I know he's going to bring Super Bowls to the organization. At the end of the day, he finds ways to help this team win, and that's all that matters.
I think part of it is standing up and throwing a bubble screen to the outside doesn't look like it's as pretty as sitting in there and throwing a rifle shot down the field for 35 yards. I think that's where some of it comes from. I really do.
Yeah, but that's the offense he has.
I know. But I'm just telling you where the perception comes from. I don't agree with it at all, but I did think his numbers would be a little gaudier than what they are right now, and I think they will get going. I'm a big believer. I think this offense is only scratching the surface.
Pete, everything everything. Draft today, Herbert, Lawrence on the board. Who are you taking?
It's tough for me because I still think Herbert is special, and I probably Trevor.
Yeah, I'm taking Trevor.
Throw Tua into the equation.
I'm still taking Trevor.
Me too. Tua looked ordinary last night.
First time I've watched him play, and I'm like, the stat that jumped out at me about the Dolphins, I think last night they were going into the game, they were 5-20. The combined record of the teams they have beaten, are 5-26.
Yeah, beat up on some bad teams.
Certainly did. Monday Night Football. Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa, and the San Francisco 49ers at 5-1 head to U.S. Bank Stadium to He
choked! He choked!
Oh, no.
Doing too much work, too many games over the weekend.
Kirk Cousins, Daniil Hunter, and the 2-4 Vikings. Who you got doesn't matter anymore. No.
No, it doesn't matter anymore. You fumbled. You fumbled the ball out of the back of the end zone. You're Desmond Ridder.
No, he stepped out of the back of the end zone. He's Dan Orlovsky.
Oh, my God.
Yikes.
JP.
Whew.
I think it's going to be closer than people think tonight.
I don't. I think the Niners blow him out.
Brock Purdy, it's a big game for Brock Purdy. Proven game. He was bad last week. I know you're a family friend and all, but he wasn't good last week.
He has, he has exactly one loss in his history in the regular season.
Quarterback wins is not a stat, Tony.
Oh,
not a stat.
Boy. Let's close on that. That's Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. I'm J.P. Shadrick. Thanks to our entire crew, and thanks to you for listening and watching. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.